The year is 2017. Bashar has a head full of hair, which he does not need to cover with a cricket hat. I am single and kidless and wifeless, probably depressed. But the year is 2017 and Hassan Ali is in the top of the game. Shadab Khan is making man of the matches for Pakistan. The squad is balanced. There's an experienced side. There's a younger side. Newer kids are coming in. Fahim Rana Ashraf has made cricket his own sport. It's a gully sport for him. No. This is not 2017, sir. This is 2025, the year of our Lord, 2025. We are here with a side where the youngins are now the old ones. There are new youngins in there. Nawaz Sharif's son is apparently playing for Pakistan cricket team, Hassan Nawaz. And lo and behold, Simon Fakhar have finally opened. This is modern day cricket. We are so freaking back. My name is Nadar Sayyed. You're watching Backward Point. With me, as always, my brother, my co-host, Bashar Sayyed.
Are you implying that people who are single and childless are depressed?
Hey, you can take whatever you want from that intro. That intro was written from the heart, off the cuff, and it is an honest representation of where my mind and my heart is at. Because once I saw the playing 11, I may be jumping the gun a little bit, but I saw the playing 11 in the morning, Rashad. I woke up, I saw this, I put the phone down, I looked up to the sky and I said, Allah, there's a lot of sadness and bitterness in the world and cruelty in the world. But finally, Pakistan cricket fans get some solace with this brand new squad, brand new team on the field with Mike Hesson and the helms, Hanif Malik teaching guys how to bat. I mean, what else do you want in life? Nothing more than this. Man, I'm pumped up for this podcast, man. Absolutely ready. Like, I've been buzzing since the morning. It is 10:35 a.m. 10:35 p.m. right now as we're shooting this podcast. I have a grade 2 muscle injury on my lower rib cage because of cricket. And yet here I am, pumped up with the painkillers. My heart's rolling, man. I'm ready to do this. This is the best part about Backward Point right now. I haven't been this pumped in a very long time.
International cricket is back. Pakistan cricket is back. But I think we need to be a little careful, especially yourself, because the last time you said, "We are back, baby," we were actually not back. If anything, we went backwards.
This is why I said we're so freaking back. This is a new era. We're not back, baby. We're so freaking back.
This is a new
We're freaking back, bro. We're freaking back. I mean, where do you want to start? Like, there's so many good news. If you're a Pakistan cricket fan, congratulations to you. You've been through 2023 World Cup. Actually, 2023 Asia Cup. You've been through the 2023 World Cup. You've been to the 2024 T20 World Cup and Asia Cup. Was it an Asia Cup?
No.
Okay. Anyways, it felt like one. 24 T20 World Cup. The debacle of the captain changes. You went to the 2025 Champions Trophy, bro. You're here. It's here. We're here. 4-1 against New Zealand. 4-1 against New Zealand twice, actually. We are here. We made it out. We keep making that distinction. We keep talking about Andy Dufresne crawling through a mile of shit and coming out the other side a clean man. We are here. We are clean men. Shawshank Redemption. Thank you, Stephen King, for writing that. Thank you, Mike Hesson, for humming the job. Thank you, Bashar Sayyed, for being on the podcast.
I think it's been an incredible journey where Pakistan is right now, what we've been through. And I think as fans, what we can at least see now is a sense of direction, a style of play that is competitive with what other nations are doing. And I think there's a lot to discuss in this podcast. We didn't do a Pakistan-Bangladesh series preview. So I guess the first little part of this podcast is going to be the events leading up to the series, squad analysis, changes in the Pakistan management. And starting off with the first change is this is the first series Pakistan has had with Mike Hesson as the white ball coach. Mike Hesson came out in the pre-series press conference highlighting a few key elements about his contract and what he sees Pakistan's future is, starting off with his tenure as Pakistan coach. And he says he is here for 2 years, which includes a T20 World Cup next year in Sri Lanka, following a ODI World Cup in 2027 in South Africa.
Yeah. So Mike Hesson, he's been on the pod, a version of this pod before, a friend of the pod as well, alumni of the pod. And we've been rallying behind him ever since we were in Islamabad. We're like, this guy is doing something very different.
Why?
Because he's not only doing something different, but he's playing to the strengths of his players. That 2024 Islamabad United team was not super exceptional. It was a very ordinary team, but they did this thing which, if you're a basketball fan, you'll understand. They were heavy on role players. You can have a team with Shaq and Kobe and Bashar, but if you don't have role players, the other 8 players being role players and defining the attributes and contributing to the team to the max with whatever they do best, you won't win chips. And this is exactly what Mike Hesson did with that 2024 Islamabad United team. He followed it up again with this 2025 Islamabad United team. He didn't go all the way, but still made it to the playoffs. 10 game unbeaten streak. That's nothing to shy away from. 6 straight wins in this season as well. So like he's doing something right. And he's playing modern day cricket with the DNA of Pakistan cricket, which is the tough part here. That's what I'm trying to say. He understands the cultures. He understands the ins and outs of how this apparatus works. And not only that, he's putting his spin on it and reforming it. And I think he's the right guy to take both the backwards mentality of the PCB management and the Pakistan cricket and the forward mentality of where he's come from, which is RCB, New Zealand cricket, Otago as well, and just forming them and merging them and forming this class of cricket that is modern but also Pakistan-like.
I think there's been a huge debate over the years whether Pakistan needs foreign coaches, local coaches, and I have lost sleep over this debate.
Yeah.
With myself. You can say I'm schizophrenic. I have these debates in my head where one side is foreign coach, one side is local coach. And I think in my head, I have concluded that a foreign coach suits Pakistan better. And I say this because you hear former Pakistan players come on the media and talk about how when Pakistan has a local Pakistani coach, they have a big ego issue. A lot of our former players haven't retired. They've officially retired, but they haven't retired in their heads. They still think they're superstars. And I just heard Imad Wasim on a post-match show of the PSL with Shrey Bakhtar telling a story of how this one Pakistan coach got mad at a Pakistan player for coming to breakfast at the hotel and not saying salam to them, and how they gave him a 30-minute lecture on why he should have said salam to him. This is the sort of egotistical stuff that our local coaches are stuck in. And they need to understand that their Pakistan shirts are off and now they're in the coaching shirts. One thing I love about Mike Hesson, and we spoke to him off camera, and he doesn't consider himself to be coaching. He says, call me support staff, because his job is not to teach Salman Agha or Mohammad Haris how to hold a bat. His job is to put them in positions where they can succeed, to give them confidence, to give them security. And I think Mike Hesson in particular is a great choice for a head coach because he comes with no baggage. He hasn't played international cricket. He hasn't had a big ego behind him. He's already coached the New Zealand team to an ODI World Cup final. He's coached RCB, where they've had superstars like Chris Gayle, Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers. And he also understands the Pakistan landscape because the past couple of years he's been with Islamabad United. So for all those reasons, Mike Hesson is a top guy for this job. He's professional. He takes his job very seriously. He loves a challenge. And this Pakistan team in the next 2 years has its challenges, but the opportunities that these challenges present themselves with are immense.
The next person I really want to talk about is the new batting coach for Pakistan. I would actually categorize him not only as a batting coach, but a batting / conditioning / mental health coach. On your left, on that wall, on that IU 2024 shirt that's next to you on your left, we have the entire IU squad of 2024 signed right there because we were there last year. We had the privilege to be there. And there's only one person who's written Urdu on that shirt, and that's batting coach Hanif Malik, who wrote Lamhe Maujood, the present moment. Just think about the present moment. And not only from himself, but we've heard it from Saim as well. We've heard it from, who was it?
Shah Masood,
Haider Ali was talking about it. Shadab was talking about it. Rahman Reis was talking about it. That what he does is he takes all your baggage and leaves it where it is. It's in the past. And he talks about what's today. The only thing you can worry about is the ball that's coming in the next 30 seconds. Not the one that you played 2 overs ago that you should have hit for 6 and didn't. That sort of ethos and that philosophy, I haven't seen at least in the Pakistan team. And this guy comes in and he's not only presenting these philosophical ideas, but what that does is just grounds a player. A player like Shadab Khan, who's a world-class player, he's a champion. He's a world champion. Grounds him. A player like Hyder Ali last year, who's going through a lot of it, Bashar, you know this because you were following this journey very closely.
Platinum pick to being unpicked in the draft and then to being a supplementary pick.
What does he do with him? He takes him down. He's like, Hyder Ali, do you know who you are? Who are you as a person? Do heck on, is what he says to Hyder Ali, right? And he brings him down, not by disrupting him or insulting him, by just telling him who he is as a person. You are Hyder Ali. You are the finisher. Why do you let anybody else get in your mind? That's the same side of ethos that you see in Saim. That's the same type of ethos that you see in Islamabad players. Now, why is this important? I'm looking around this Pakistan squad that was announced, Bashar. And that's why maybe we can segue into this, maybe talk about this as a whole. I have Agha, Fahim Ashraf, Hassan Ali,
Fakhar Zaman?
Naseem Shah. No, wait, Shadab Khan. These guys are either current or former Islamabad United players that are under this Mike Hesson, Hanif Malik duo. Half this team, half the people in this playing 11 that just played in this Bangladesh team have gone through that circuit. Now, how important is that for Salman Agha as the captain, Hanif Malik as the batting coach, and Mike Hesson, that trio, and Shadab there as well as the vice command, to lead these guys forward? That chemistry is so important. And I don't know how the PCB either managed to fall upon it by accident or some mastermind actually forged this chemistry to happen. But this team not only looks hungry for wins, but is ready to improve themselves and to cater the moment that they find themselves on. So all of these pieces, Bashar, they're moving pieces, but they've somehow found themselves in the right place where if they make their next few moves, 7-8 moves correctly, they might find themselves in a checkmate position and win the game.
If you've been hearing the podcast for the past 14, 15 months, you would know that ever since we met Hanif Malik in Islamabad last year, we are huge admirers of his work. Now, he is a guy who is working with players, giving them books to read. Pakistani cricketers reading self-help books. I think previously, the only books Pakistani players have read were checkbooks. And so now they're in a position where they're learning about themselves. They're exploring what their capabilities are. And Hanif Malik, I think, is an integral role. The question is, why wasn't Hanif Malik part of the Pakistan team a long time ago? And I think the answer lies within the management we had previously. The only reason why we see Hassan Ali Malik with the Pakistan team right now, and I believe this, is because Mike Hesson is the Pakistan head coach. And the head coach has the powers to have a team around him that he wants. Now, I can guarantee you, perhaps Mike Hesson told the PCB that I need Hanif Malik as a batting coach. And he also brought in Ashley N as the bowling coach as well. So I think these appointees are, in hindsight, thanks to Mike Hesson and perhaps maybe Salman Agha, because we've seen an improvement in Salman Agha's batting, and that could be correlated with his work with Hanif Malik last year. He is a terrific guy to work with in terms of improving your batting, your six hitting ability, and mark today's date. Today is Wednesday, May 28th, 10:42 p.m. EST. In the next 12 months, let's look back on this podcast and these 12-month periods from May 28, 2025 to May 28, 2026. We will see an improvement in Pakistan's six hitting. We can compare the next 12 months with the last 12 months. And with Hanif Malik in the Pakistan dugout, we will see guys hitting bigger sixes, cleaner sixes. And there should be an overall improvement in the mindset and the approach of the Pakistan player. So I'm very excited with where Hanif Malik will go, because I think if he is part of the Mike Hesson squad gang, he should also be with the Pakistan team for the next 2 years at least.
You're talking about the previous 12 months. I have a stat for you, thanks to the ever-present brain of Mazhar Arshad. He says Pakistan have scored over 200 in 3 of the last 7 men's T20Is. In the previous 50 matches, they never reached 200.
Wonderful.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, the experiment starts from New Zealand's tour, Bashar. Now, they weren't able to execute it properly, but there was a germ of trying to change things. Maybe it was reckless. Maybe it was just a little bit.
The conditions were tough, man.
This is what I wanted to talk about. Now we can get straight into the preview of the series, which is basically, this is the home series where you try your young'uns out. This is it. This is how it's supposed to be. I still am of the fact that maybe that series that went right after the Champions Trophy, I believe. Was it before the Champions Trophy?
It was after
Right
Champions
after the
Trophy.
Champions Trophy. I think that series should have had Rizwan and Babur in it.
No,
That's my
I
opinion.
disagree.
No, I think so. Because you're sending in, you're doing the same mistake you did with Afghanistan and Dubai in 2023. 22.
Maybe one of Rizwan or Babur, like maybe Babur.
Whoever. You needed somebody in there to hold the ground. You're sending a brand new captain there with these guys, with all these young guns who are just off their heads trying to play quote unquote modern day cricket without knowing exactly what that looks like. You needed somebody to hold the fort. And either Rizwan or Babur, or maybe both, should have gone with the squad just to hold that down. I think that was a miscalculation. You went 4-1. That's fine. Now, this is a series where you play a completely young squad, and they're doing that, and I love it.
I think in hindsight, because the same sort of guys went to New Zealand and they lost there, it might have built character. You're now seeing a story arc being presented. And I know it's just one match in this series and you might be jumping ahead, but again, it's about changing the direction of where Pakistan cricket was going. And just to transition in towards this series, Pakistan made 7 changes from the last squad that went to New Zealand. Abdul Samad dropped. Umair bin Yusuf dropped. Usman Khan finally dropped.
Alhamdulillah, God, you do exist and you are here. And we owe you so much for this one drop. I don't even know how to repay you. Tuna fills, guys. You know what I'm talking about.
Jannat Khan dropped. Muhammad Ali dropped. Shaheen Afridi and Sufyan Nakeem dropped. So 7 dropped players. And then the players added into the Pakistan team for this series were Fakhar Zaman, Saim Ayub, Sahib Zada Farhan, Fahim Ashraf, Hussain Talat, Wasim Jr., Naseem Shah, and Hassan Ali.
Well, Wasim Jr. is also out now. Abbas Afridi is in his stead, right?
Correct, yeah. So I didn't really count Abbas Afridi as being dropped because he was in the last series and he was in this series.
Sure. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Good point. I mean, look, the players added so much depth, so much value, so much character, so much nuance to whatever that squad playing 11 looks like, so much variety that it's a no-brainer that these guys are in the squad.
Clean slate, Pakistan's 2 best openers right now, Fakhar Zaman and Saim Ayub. They walk into this T20
I need you to say that again. Who are Pakistan's modern day openers right now?
Fakhar Zaman and Saim Ayub. Now, I've been having, so because cricket season started here, I've been having discussions with my teammates and friends off the field. And some of these Pakistani fans are so traumatized that they're like, hold on, no, Fakhar Zaman can bat number 4. He is so good against spin. Yes, he is, but his main batting position is as an opener. We should utilize him in the power play, go hard or go home.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree.
Farhan has had an incredible last few months, so he deserves a spot.
No brainer.
Fahim Ashraf.
This is it now. Look, Fahim was announced in that dreadful Tri-Series Cup, which was like a completely left field thing. And he was trolled by a lot of people, including us. We were not behind the Fahim Ashraf train.
I don't even think Rizwan was.
I don't think a lot of people were not. Rizwan was not.
Plays 1 match, balls, how many overs?
1 over, 1.2 overs. Like pretty obvious where your captain stands with that opinion. You have a note here, which I'm shocked that we're even entertaining this, but it has come to that point. Your note on Fahim Ashraf is Fahim the best fast bowling all-rounder that we have? And the fact that he's in a conversation of that right now and wasn't literally like 4 months ago speaks volumes for where he's come from, where he was and where he's come. That journey, study it.
8 years since Fahim Ashraf's debut with the Pakistan team. He debuted first time in the Champions Trophy in 2017. And Pakistan is yet to uncover a fast bowling all-rounder with the same capabilities as him. Amr Jamal was one of the all-rounders we had, but a back injury last year in county cricket has caused him to lose pace. We've seen enough of him in the PSL where we can say his bowling is expensive. His batting isn't with the same caliber as Fahim Ashraf. Amr Yamin is 35 years old. I think he's out of the picture. Hussain Talat is a batting all-rounder, so his batting is his main suit. We are talking about fast bowling all-rounders where players who their main suit is fast bowling and then they can also bat.
Like in this game, he bowled the first new ball.
Yeah.
Can Hussain Talat do that? Probably not.
Yeah. Other players in contention could be Ahmad Butt, also unpicked in the PSL. So I think this is a point of concern for the Pakistan domestic setup that Pakistan does not have any players, even in competition with Fahim Ashraf. And I'm not a big Fahim Ashraf fan, but given the past I would say 12 to 24 months domestically, we don't have anybody who can challenge Fahim Ashraf for his spot in the Pakistan.
I have a hot take.
What?
Hassan Nawaz was the player of the tournament of the 2025 PSL.
Emerging player of the tournament.
Was he emerging? Who was the player of the tournament? I think he was player of the tournament.
No. Was he?
I think so.
Was he also emerging and player of the tournament?
Could be. Yeah.
Okay,
I
he
think
could
so.
be both.
I think so.
Right. Okay.
My hot take is that Fahim Ashraf should have been player of the tournament.
That is a hot take.
I think he had a great PSL. His team was in the final. He had crunch matches where he won them clutch games and bowled his heart out. Should have been.
Look, there's no doubt about
And the PSL legend thing you were talking about throughout the entire PSL dailies, you guys can check this out. Bashar was you were very observant and very cautious of saying, oh, Fahim Ashraf is a legend of PSL.
He's a Ben Stokes, Gary Sobers, Richard Hadley, Imran Khan of the PSL.
Of the PSL, correct. And so the year that he's had, it's crazy. Like from being nowhere into the Pakistan setup, now he finds himself in 2 important tournaments and then has an outstanding PSL and then now comes back and is like just carrying that momentum forward. I think I'm really happy for where we've landed Fahim and with Khushdil. Because Khushdil and Fahim were those 2 entries right at that February, January area where I was just like, what are we doing here?
Well, I'll still say it, but there is still a question mark on Fahim Ashraf's batting internationally. His PSL record stays that he has a 22 batting average, 140 plus strike rate. His batting average internationally in T20I is like 12, 13. So there's nearly a difference of half in his batting at the PSL and his batting internationally.
If you can replicate his PSL numbers in international at the number 7, 8 spot, 6 spot, 7, 6, 7, 8 spot, you know, he gives me like 6 balls, gives me 22 off of it, or whatever, 8 balls, 25. He will change the course of the match.
Yeah.
And change the course of the momentum wherever Pakistan finds themselves in.
Hussain Tarat also finds himself making a comeback, and we were talking about Hussain Tarat quite highly during the PSL dailies. We think he is a solid middle order left-handed batsman who can give you maybe a couple of overs if needed. And so if Pakistan is looking to build white ball squad depth, looking ahead at the 2027 ODI World Cup in South Africa, which is going to be seam-friendly conditions, Hussain Tarat could be your guy to bat at number 5 or 4 and also give you a few overs. So this is a good introduction to him in the squad. Wasim Jr., I think, brings something different to the Pakistan bowling attack because he has a really slingy action. It's just a different release point, and he has some really good depth over bowling. We saw how Quetta Gladiators missed Wasim Jr. in the final because he bowls some rockets in the death. Gun fielder, amazing throw. Needs to work on his batting a little bit more, but that was a good inclusion as well. Unfortunately, Wasim Jr. finds himself to be injured. Naseem Shah's inclusion was kind of left field for me. I didn't really see that coming.
It was either Naseem Shah or Shaheen Afridi. And I think right now, because I do want to, I want to give a couple of minutes on Shaheen Afridi as well. Because we did not do a PSL wrap up podcast because honestly, we had so many requests doing it. People were like messaging us, "Are you guys going to talk about the PSL final and the PSL?" Burnt out, guys. We did like 25 episodes in like 35 days. We were absolutely burnt out. And we just didn't have the power after doing a live stream for 4 hours to then come back and discuss it. Like it was just not happening. And that's why we didn't do the review either, because again, this takes a lot of effort to come and do this. And we just needed some time off. So I just wanted to speak a couple minutes about Shaheen Afridi in the PSL that he's had. There was a moment when Lahore needed 2 of 2. And Sikandar Raza had basically sealed the deal for Lahore Qalandars in the final. And the camera cuts to Shaheen, and Shaheen is like motionless. Nothing on his face. Completely steely-eyed, stone-faced. No emotion whatsoever. And then he hits that 4, and the camera cuts back to Shaheen, and Shaheen just walks up and goes into the ground. I think the past 12 months have been hard to the trio. The trio being Rizwan, Babar, and Shaheen. Rizbar Shah, right? It's been hard for them in a lot of ways because they were the core 3. They've been there since 2019, honestly. And they've been through the ups and downs. People have come in, gone out, retired, unretired. Like so much drama has happened, but this has been the core 3 that has been there throughout. And the fact that Pakistan management dropped them says a lot. Now, who will come back from this? I don't know, but I know for a fact that Shaheen Afridi has something to prove. And he has shown that in this PSL by winning it, by captaining it, by having a strong, a B strong side that was basically after the whole conflict came and went, most of his international players did not return. Daryl Mitchell did not return. And he had a B-strong side that he had to take to three basically knockout games. And he did. And he won all of them. And he became the champion. And his reaction to that PSL final tells me that there is something great about Shaheen Afridi on the cusp. And I know Mike Hesson to know that he has seen that, and he will use that energy to bring back Shaheen, and Shaheen will do wonders. He has that outswinger now to the right-hander that we were talking about, Bashar, that we were like, these guys are so one-dimensional. The core three, Babar has found out, Rizwan has found out. Babar has no, no mid-wicket heave shot, nothing, no lock sweep shot, doesn't have a release shot like that. Rizwan cannot play the offside game at all, and Shaheen only has the in-swinger that's full in the first couple of overs, nothing else. These guys have to improve, and we've already seen Shaheen take that step forward and develop that outswinger.
The first two balls in the PSL final had Sochigil dumbfounded. In-swinger to a lefty, which Shaheen really does.
And that's what I'm talking about. I think Shaheen has a future here in this Pakistan team. And just be sure, I don't know about the Rizwan thing, but I know for a fact that Shaheen Afridi will be back in the greens in the T20 setup very soon.
Yeah, I think the only missing link in this Pakistan squad for this series was a left-arm pacer. I think we have tried Akif Javed, and what we learned in the New Zealand series is that Akif is good, but he's still very raw. Like, he needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of seasons in domestic before we can call him back and be like, okay, Akif, you're a main guy. But right now, I think in terms of left-arm pacers, Shaheen is still our go-to guy.
100%. So I think we've done a lot of preamble, the previewing, Mike Hesson, Hanif Malik, squad and whatnot. Let's talk about the game itself.
The game on Saturday, May 31st at Rogers Center. Cricket Day at the ballpark.
Cricket Day at the ballpark is happening on May 31st, Saturday. Toronto Blue Jays is hosting Cricket Day at the park. It's an unmissable event. Like, if you are in the GTA, if you're in the Eastern Conference, if you're on the East Coast, if you want to come, have a great day with baseball and cricket. Introduce maybe your white friends to cricket and introduce some of your brown friends to baseball. This is how you do it. We're coming with our families. It's a family event. You guys get nets. You guys get activities. You guys get a lot of ways to introduce new public into both sports, because my dad does not follow baseball at all, but he loves Cricket Day at the park. And
I love free stuff. And the first 15,000 people get a 1-of-1 Blue Jays and Cricket Canada jacket.
100%. And this is how you do it, guys. You guys go in the description. We have our links there. You get 15% off your tickets if you use our link. And you purchase your tickets. You come in early. First 15,000 get the jackets. You can have a good time. You can ping us. We'll be around. We'll take pictures. We'll say hi.
There's photo ops. The players of the Canadian team will be there. And they're also arranging some South Asian music performers. It's going to be a great time all around.
It's legit, guys. That's what it is. I'm sorry to say, but that's leaked it. That's who's coming on. I'm just kidding. But it's going to be a fun time. Bring your family, bring your friends. Tickets in the description below. Thank you, Blue Jays, for sponsoring this podcast. And thank you for inviting all of us to a cricket day. Like, they don't have to do this, but they're doing it. They understand that cricket and baseball are distant cousins. And this is how you bring everybody together. So props to them.
Pakistan in the toss and they bat first. I want you to just describe a little bit about the sight of Fakhar Zaman and Saim Ayub walking in together to open the innings for Pakistan. This would be a dream for any Pakistani 12 months ago.
Man, I was on
because you would think, like, how do you get past Rizwan Babar? Their reputations and their egos and their performances and their averages and their rankings. How do you manage to get Fakhar Zaman and Saim Ayub, the two most explosive openers in the Pakistan circuit right now, to open together?
Man, I'm just saying, when I saw that happen, I was on the Patreon chat, it was early in the morning, and I was like, so who's walking in? And somebody said Fakhar and Saim, and I was like, I'm getting emotional.
Because Mohammad Haris gave us a sneak peek in one of the post-match conferences in the PSL. He kind of leaked the information that the management told him that he'll be batting number 3 for the Pakistan team, and Fakhar and Saim will be the openers. Now, ever since I heard that, I could not wait for the day to come.
I mean, we've been anxious about it for a very long time. I think that should have been the opening pair in the 2024 T20 World Cup. Should have been the opening pair in the Champions Trophy. Things would have been different. I truly believe that. I mean, just the impact and the weight of that opening pair on what it means to be a Pakistan cricket fan was phenomenal. And guess what? They absolutely failed. It was the most Pakistan thing ever, which is you have like these hopes, like this monumentous moment, the turning of a leaf, turning of an era. We're coming here. It's just like this is it, man. This is modern day cricket. This is what we've been hoping for, like for the better part of 24 months, at least in T20s. And boom, Saim first ball duck, and Fakhr 4-ball 1.
It's the most anticlimactic thing to ever happen.
But I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I was there to witness that happening. I think just a bit unlucky. Leading edge for Saim.
Saim, I think, closed the bat face too early. Yeah. Top edge, gets caught out.
Yeah. And like the bowling was really good as well, because the previous 2 deliveries that he bowled to, I forget who the bowler was, to Fakhr, they were quicker. So Saim probably thought,
it was the off spinner, right? Mehdi Hesson?
It was, I think it was the off spinner. Yeah, it was Mehdi Hesson. It was just like quicker. It was arm ball. It was quick. It was seam up. It was going, hitting like the pads. Saim probably saw that and he was like, oh, I'm just going to close the face, sneak a single. And then he just let it glide just a little bit more. Good spinning there. Good brain bowling there, which I respect.
My take on Saim is that I think he's still rusty from his fracture, his rehab. This is like his 11th competitive game back, 10 games in the PSL for Zolmi, and this is his first match back for Pakistan. And I think as time progresses and the more time he works in the nets, and now Hanif Malik is with the Pakistan team, we'll see Saim improving. But the one thing Pakistan should never do is give up on Saim Ayub.
No way. I think 2026 T20 World Cup, I don't think we see, God forbid any injuries, God forbid anything drastic or monumental happening. I don't think we see at least Saim moving anywhere from that spot.
Fakhr Zaman then gets LBW on a ball that sort of nips away off the seam by Shoaib. Now, this series does not have DRS. There's also no speed guns. Not that I'm saying that if there was DRS, it would have been overturned. I think this might have been just umpire's call because the on-field umpire gave this decision out. Pakistan finds himself to be 5 for 2. Intent, modern day cricket in Pakistan are 5 for 2.
Now, here's the thing. I'm just looking at the scorecard real quickly, and a lot of these guys had soft dismissals. Maybe like half of these guys had soft dismissals. At least the openers definitely did. What does that tell me? That I don't know. That tells me there's a lag between just the PSL ending and international cricket starting. Even though pretty much the players are pretty much the same. There was a lot of Bangladeshi players in the PSL this year. There is a difference in expectations, in just pressure of the game, and just the international circuit being back. There is a difference. And I think some of our players are taking a little bit longer to cope with that, just to meet that deficit. I don't think that you'll see Fakhr Zaman and Saim Ayub scoring 1-0 again in this series. I think it'll be quite a different series for the next couple of games for them. But the beauty of this whole situation is Pakistan being 5 for 2 in the first couple overs ends up 201 for 7. Wait, there was a time before. Yeah. There was a time where if Pakistan were 5 for 2, that means Babar or Rizwan have been out, and that means Pakistan is not even making 110 or 120 unless one of them anchors it to like play 70 ball 80 or 60 ball 75, and then maybe we reach somewhere between 140 to 150, and that's it. The fact that our openers failed to click, and yet Haris comes in unfazed, plays the natural game. Agha, who is now modern day Agha, 164 strike rate. Hassan Nawaz, the find of the tournament. He did worst player of the tournament. I still stick with my hot take of Fahim Ashraf maybe being more deservable, but still, Hassan Nawaz coming in, producing a knock. Now this is where you come in, and this is the strategy of playing home games against maybe a weaker side. Is you get these guys reps in international circuits, you get them into the runs, and you make them sure that they are in a position to succeed. Hassan Nawaz, position to succeed. Shadab Khan, position to succeed. Simon Fakhr as well were in position to succeed. Now, the chances availed and not availed are different situations. This is how it's done. And when you get performances like these, when you get people rocking back from a potential collapse and coming out and scoring big, you generate this confidence that then pays dividends forward.
I think 12 months ago, if Pakistan was 5 for 2, they would have gone into their shell. They would have consolidated. They would have played according to the situation, conditions, and circumstances. And they might have been like 30 for 2 in the power play. And they would have been like 70 for 3 after 10 overs. And they might have finished at like 160, 150. But this Pakistan team and this management are like, no, we're going to play with intent throughout the entire innings, despite how many wickets we're losing. Mohammad Haris goes hard on the power play. Salman Ali Agha supports him in the power play.
Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of there is a lot of conversation, and you cannot have this conversation about modern day cricket without mentioning Nizam Babar. You just cannot. Agha was 7 ball 5, 28 for 2 in 4. But Agha has that gear to him where he comes out and scores 3 4s against Mehdi Hassan in that 1 over, and just jumps from a 7 ball 5 to a 12 ball 18. And by the time he's out of the game, he has scored 56 off 34. Record of 165. That's what an anchor does, Bashar.
Just the power play between, the partnership in the power play between Haris and Agha, 48 of 31 balls. A lot of counter attack by Mohammad Haris, and Agha was kind of like supporting him on the other end during that time. My concern about Haris, and we're massive Mohammad Haris fans. This is before he was on the podcast, after he was on the podcast. My concern with Haris is that he has now played 15 matches for Pakistan, and he has gotten multiple starts to his innings. He gets through the most difficult phase of the inning, which is the first few balls, getting to the new ball as a top 3 batter. But his highest score in 15 innings still remains 41. So in the 15 times he's batted, only once he's gotten into the 40s. And even today, he gets to a great start, 31 off, 17, 18 balls.
Yeah.
That's when he should have upped the ante, scored a 50, scored a 60, like make your starts and convert them into a big score.
I think it's the opposite. I think his ante is too up.
Like,
needs to bring it back down.
You've played 15 matches and your average is still 14.
It's not only that, 14.8 by the way, but it's not only that. He's not only played 15 matches, but he's captained Pakistan Emerging Asia Cup to champion, to winning that whole thing in 2023. He's a veteran in the youth setup. He is a youngin, but he's played too much cricket to still be doing this. I still think, and I mean, Babar Azam came out in the podcast he did with Peshawar Zalmi and said Haris is a great find. He's a youngin, but he needs to be a bit more consolidated. He needs to use his head a little bit more, just be a little bit more mature to his innings. I tend to agree with that take a little bit. That being said, I would rather him do 18 ball 31 than have a 40 ball 65.
Don't get me wrong, he did his job. He utilized the power play. He maximized that. He's got Pakistan off to a good start. But that's when I want to see him change the gear a bit and also score runs in the middle overs as well.
Yeah,
like that's how you can be a great player for Pakistan in T20s.
I agree. We only criticize because we love. And I think Mohammad Haris has potential to be that.
14.8 average in 15 matches, I think, is a underrepresentation of what his talent really is.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, another argument that's online is that, Babar and Rizwan were anchors, so they're out of the team. But Salman Agha is also an anchor. Why is he in the team? Why is he captain? Let me clarify. Salman Agha, by any means, is not an anchor. His stats just this year in 2025, 223 runs at an average of 44 and strike rate of 142. This includes 5 matches in New Zealand towards the end of their summer, moving conditions, grass on the pitch, Kyle Jamieson bowling, outswingers at 7 foot.
Yeah, 350 this year.
This guy's not an anchor, right? He plays effortless cricket. He scores boundaries, 6s, but at no point does it look like he's slogging. Proper shots.
Well, that pickup shot was crazy, man.
Insane.
That pickup shot was insane what he did. Just like waited on it, shifted his weight, played it on mid-wicket. Like, I just love everything about that. I mean, Agha has a very smart cricketing brain and a very smart head to himself. Like I'm yet to see him in complete pressure and how I would love to see how he weasels his way out of that. But in the moment, as it stands, I think he's a genuine captain for T20s. And I think maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but there is a conversation for him to move forward in other aspects of captaincy in the Pakistan setup.
In different formats?
Maybe.
Hot take.
I mean, there is a name for in the Reds for Karachi Janda Saud Shakil. I don't hate that, but
for ODIs?
For the red balls.
For red ball. Okay.
That's happening. That conversation is there, Bishop. Whether you like it or not,
Let's
it's happening.
Let's just continue things how they're going right now.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
like the setup that we have right now, where we have different captains for different formats. We have a coach for red ball. Actually, not right now, but we will have a coach for red ball differently. And then we have a different coach for white ball. So
When is by the way the next red ball game we're playing? August?
I think it's towards the end of the year. It's not anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
while.
I think Hassan Nawaz, the most interesting thing about him is that he is a genuine opener, but he was asked to play at number 6 and number 7 for Quetta. He put his hands up, he did it, scored runs there. And then he found himself also playing at number 4 and number 5. Now, Hassan Nawaz's best numbers in T20s come actually now at number 4. He has 213 runs at an average of 156. Holy cow. And a
Wow.
strike rate of 183.
That's how you know real time
Wow.
brain.
I had to double check his average because 156 average, 1 century, 350s in 5 innings, 16 fours, and 24 sixes.
Yeah, even today he had more 6s than 4s. This guy has a clean hit.
He's placed, so at number 4, he's played 171 balls. He scored 24 sixes. He's hitting a 6 nearly every 8-9 balls he's facing.
Bashar, he played 22 balls today. He hit 6 boundaries. Do the math.
His balls per boundary ratio is quite high. And I feel like he's one of those guys who can hit a boundary at any point he wants. Especially he hits a 6 on any ball anywhere on the ground. He's a tall guy. He has long levers. He holds the bat with the from the top. So he has even longer levers there. Sort of how Abdul Razak used to hold the bat back in the day. And because he's tall, he has reach on the fuller balls. He hit a 6 to Richarlison towards deep mid wicket on a full ball. And then because he's flexible, he's skinny, there's also a short ball. He rocked on the back foot, smashed it for a 6. And then he also showed us his shot range because there was a ball outside off stump that was full, and he hit it over the covers for a 6.
Only 22 years of age, Bashar. This guy's going to go places. And if he keeps playing like this and has some sort of consistency, him in the middle order in the ODIs, forget about it.
I heard his interview post-match with Zainab Abbas, and he said that when he came back from New Zealand, he went back and he watched his videos of that series. He identified the areas where he needed to improve, which is, facing the new ball, just having better technique, and also rotation of strike. Now that he's batting at number 4, number 5, he's going to be batting outside the power play where the field is open, and he needs to find ways to take singles and doubles. And that's where he's working on. And I loved his mindset. It's very rare to hear a Pakistani player say, I went back, I saw my videos, I wanted to improve. I notified these areas that needed a lot of work on, and I'm currently working on that.
Here's the thing with these modern day players. We talked about this about Saim Ayub when he was on the Zenmi podcast. Yo, these guys are grinding tape, bro. These guys are looking at tape. They're studying tape. They're grinding tape. And this was something that wasn't done, or at least publicly known to us from the Pakistan network before. My favorite player of all time in the Pakistan setup is Shahid Afridi. I don't think he's ever gone back and seen how he's gotten out, because otherwise he would have had a better strike rate, a better average in ODIs. The team depended on him in a lot of places, but he just sometimes dropped the ball because he was Shahid Afridi. These guys are playing outside of the scope of their names or their places because they want to improve themselves. They have that hunger, they have that drive. I think Pakistan cricket, for whatever the talent that they've had in the past 10, 15, 20, 50, 60 years, these young guys are just tired of mediocrity, man. These Saim Ayubs and these Hassan Nawazes and these Salman Aghas, they're tired of mediocrity, and they just don't want to be the same old, run-of-the-mill team. They want to prove something. And, generation has gone by since the last time Pakistan has won anything. And these guys feel it. They feel the pressure. And not only that, they feel the opportunity. That's why I love what Hassan Nawaz said. I love what Saim Ayub has been saying. I love that Hanif Malik is in the setup, and he will groom those or flourish those ideas that I've already embedded in these young guys. And it's not only them. And on the start of the podcast, I mentioned how it feels like it's back to 2017. The young guys in 2017 are now the veterans of this team. Shadab, Fahim, Hassan Ali. These are the guys who are now what Muhammad Amir, Muhammad Hafiz, and those guys were in that era. So now they're wearing a new hat, and these young guys are coming up and looking at those guys, and those guys are champions. They beat India in 2017, and they're like, I want to do that but better. And That's why I love whatever vigor I'm seeing, whatever intent I saw today against Bangladesh. This is what I love, and I hope it just continues and it remains replicated.
Talking about veterans of Pakistan cricket, Shadab Khan finds himself to be one of the most experienced guys in the Pakistan setup. He comes into bat number 6 ahead of Khushdil Shah, and he scores 48 off 25 balls, 5 fours, 2 sixes, at a time where Pakistan lost back-to-back wickets. And there was a period towards the end where there were 18 balls without a boundary being scored, and some pretty interesting tactic by Bangladesh as they bowled out only one over from a pacer in the last like 4 overs. So they had Mehdi Hassan and Rashad Hussain bowling in the death, which is something very different. I've never seen Bangladesh do that.
Pause. Question. Rashad Hussain, Shamim Hussain. Relation?
Don't think so.
Okay.
I think if you open their profile, if they are related, it will link and say that they're brothers.
Okay. All right.
But Hussain is a very common last name in Bangladesh, so I doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Shadab Khan comes in, scores that crucial run, and then also a very good cameo by Fahim towards the end, which helps Pakistan get to 201. Now, why it's significant for Pakistan to score 200 plus in batting is for the following reasons. This was only the second time Pakistan had scored 200 plus batting in the last 2 years. And this is the first time they had won scoring 200 plus while batting first in the last 2 years. Now, this is 2 years. This is about 34 matches. And Pakistan had only scored 200 twice.
Yeah, it's a tough
and
beat.
200 for the first time while batting first and winning, actually.
First time in Lahore as well. That was a crazy stat for me.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable how many times we've seen 200 scored in the PSL. I'm like, really? This is what like stats and data does. It just changes your perspective and refocuses all the little minute details you may have missed. And there's a perception, there's sometimes a wave when it comes to just understanding cricket. And you're like, oh yeah, PSL 200 easy every day. But international cricket and that pressure is different. And I'm glad that this happened now on the watch of Mike Hesson and the first inaugural basically game of this new setup. And this just shows that not only can they score big, but that they can defend small as well. And I like that.
Something interesting about Pakistan scoring 201 here is that only no batsman had faced more than 34 balls, and Pakistan's top scorer was Salman Agha, who scored just 56 runs. So it's guys coming in at different phases and chipping in. It's Mohammad Haris in the power play. It's Agha, Hassan Nawaz in the middle overs. It's Shadab in the death. And that's how modern day T20 cricket is played.
I believe Fahim also came in. It's a little bit of a
11 off 6.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. That's what you need sometimes.
And we heard Salman Agha in the post-match say that we don't want guys scoring 80 or 90. I mean, if they get there, it's fine. But if you're playing modern day cricket, you need to put the team ahead of yourself. And Mike Hesson's message to the Pakistan team is also something similar, where he says, play for the star in front of your shirt rather than the name behind your shirt.
He said that?
He said that.
Dang. Mike Hesson dropping bars. I believe I've heard that somewhere before, but Mike Hesson with those quotes, what is he going to do, man? What is he going to do? Because not only has he come out and given his young ones chances to just succeed, he somehow brings that back the best and the old guns, the old guard that was there, maybe forgotten, maybe ridiculed. Hassan Ali has also, we've talked about, has been on a journey for sure. Since that infamous King Lega podcast, he's just been trolled a lot. Comes back T20s after maybe a year and a half. Fifer, man. Never before has he had a fifer in T20s. Comes back, makes a maiden fifer. Not only that, Shadab Khan catches his last delivery. Not only does that delivery and that wicket win the game, completes with 5 wickets. He's going ballistic. He's going insane. Hassan Ali has also had a crazy PSL, Bashar. He was among the top wicket takers, and at one point, the top wicket taker before Shaheen surpassed him. What are you going to say? This guy's sitting on gold dust right now. He's mining all the experience that he has. The ball is reversing for him. He got hit for 2 boundaries, did not flinch, came back, bowled. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I need for my veteran. And unfortunately, we've lived through an era, you and I know, that our veteran used to be Wahab Riaz. At any day, this man could go for 4 over 65. And we have to live through that. This guy would come back and bowl another 4 over 50 and be like, Allah Mia, thank you very much. This guy did not go for 65. I think he's gone for 90 at least a couple times in my lifetime in 10 overs. Once in a World Cup. Bahab Riaz, Sports Minister. Punjab government. Yo, my stitch is hurting. Yo. Take over. My stitch is hurting. My stitch is hurting. That monologue would have been longer if I wasn't injured.
2 things about Hassan Ali. The first one is that this was his first game back in over 12 months. The second thing is that he's only played 1, 2, 3 matches in the last 3 years.
T20s you're talking about?
T20s.
Dang.
That's insane. Like last year, he played 1 match in Ireland because Babar called him up. And then Hassan Ali requested that he can leave the Pakistan squad
And go
to
back
go
to
play
county.
county.
Yeah.
Now, here's where things get interesting. Hassan Ali mentioned in the post-match interview with Zainab Abbas and in the post-match press conference that he had a career-threatening injury. Now, this is my ignorance. I thought he was talking about his lower back injury that he had a couple of years back.
Which you mentioned in, I believe, Rojas podcast.
Yeah, where he was doing deadlifts and he had a slip disc.
Yeah.
Actually, he was referring to a different injury. Last year in county cricket, Hassan Ali picked up an elbow injury, which forced him to get an elbow surgery in England, and he had to go through rehab in England, and then he came back to the NCA, did some rehab there.
This went completely under the radar.
I haven't heard about this.
Dang.
I don't know when or how this happened. Hassan Ali, the second Pakistani bowler to go to Warwickshire and get injured. The other one being Amir Jamal, who injured his lower back while he was playing there. So Hassan Ali's return to Warwickshire wasn't the best, but luckily he did get the right treatment. His surgery happened in the UK. He came back, did a lot of hard work in the NCA, and looks fit, bowled great in the PSL. I wasn't aware that this was a career-threatening injury. It looks like it was his right elbow, so his bowling elbow.
And as someone who's going through a career-threatening injury, which I have right now, with my obliques being torn, I can tell you it's scary. You don't know if you're going to make it to the next day. There's so many bowlers, new or younger bowlers, waiting on the cusp. Captain sometimes not having faith in you. I point at you and I look at that. This man has already told me that there's 3 leg spinners waiting in the fray. If you don't recover in the next 2 weeks, ow. And so like that's a lot of pressure as a star bowler of your team. So I understand that, and I believe Hassan Ali has gone through a lot in the past 3 years, not only injury wise, just by. Man, public perception is a very important thing when it comes to playing cricket. I believe that one of the main reasons that Usman Khan was not performing was that the public was just not behind him, and people can smell that. The audience is not as dumb as you think they are. People can smell your fear from a long, long mile away. And Hassan Ali, his perception in the public was just very different, very easily ridiculed. A character that's easy to make fun of. Like today, I was watching the highlights with my wife, and she was like, "Who is this guy, and why is his hair this long?" And I'm like,
John Wick.
That's Hassan Ali, bro. He put some respect on that name, and he just took 5. So like, just easy on that. So easily made fun of, a caricature sometimes of himself. But one thing he knows how to do is bowl, and I'm glad Hassan Ali took a 5. I think his redemption arc is great.
I feel like
Very few people get
Hassan. I think Hassan Ali needed some therapy a few years back. Maybe still does, because he can't seem to get the drop catch of Matthew Wade in the T20 World Cup semifinal out of his head. Every time he's at an interview, post-match conference, he keeps talking about that drop catch. And he also spoke in depth about how that drop catch affected his life, his performances, his career, people's perception of Hassan Ali.
Hassan Ali was the man of the tournament, or the player of the tournament, in the 2017 Champions Trophy. Only 2 players in the history of Pakistan cricket have gotten tournament player of the tournament awards: Shahid Afridi in 2007 and Hassan Ali in 2017.
That is a fact.
That is who Hassan Ali is, and you and I do this as well. Like, we remember him from that drop catch because Pakistan went unbeaten in the round robin stages. They beat India, they beat everybody, right? And they were kind of almost beating Australia as well. Like in that first 50% of the game or 70% of the game, Pakistan was in there. And then the guy whose catch Hassan Ali drops hits 3 6s and it's over. So
I think my opinion on that drop catch, that match, has changed in the past few years. My opinion on that match particularly is that Pakistan underscored. 177, that was only thanks to Fakhar Zaman's cameo in the end. Pakistan was like 10 over 70 something batting first.
Yeah.
Babar Azam like 20, what did he score, like 110 strike rate?
Yeah.
Rizwan's anchor innings, and he says it's his favorite of all time in his entire career in a losing cause. Like, that just frustrates me because I think if Pakistan had scored like 190, 200, it would have been a better chance. Also, every team in that World Cup won chasing. Aaron Finch won that World Cup because he won the tosses. He batted first. He bowled first and he chased. Right? So I think even if it wasn't for that drop catch, it would have still been chased. Right?
I don't know. You
It's a big what if. It remains.
That's
but
an Earth 2 question, man. That's what happens in the parallel universes, not in ours. But Hassan Ali, I'm glad for him. Shadab Khan, player of the match, scores a 48 off 25 or something, and 2 for 30. I mean, like, this guy is just like, what is this 2017 performances, Bashar? This is insane. This is why I said on the top of the podcast, it's 2017 all over again.
Better because 2017 he wasn't batting it in the top 6. I think we've talked about this in depth in the podcast where Shadab Khan's role in the Pakistan team now is integral if he is performing in all facets. That is, if he is batting in the top 6, if he is bowling 4 overs, if he is fielding in the hot spots. There is no player in the Pakistan circuit that is more valuable than Shadab Khan, provided he is performing.
And he is now.
Today he was. Today he scored 48 of 25 batting in the top 6.
Bashar, he had a good PSL, bro. Like, he had a great PSL.
Well, he had a good PSL last year too. Last year he was a player of the tournament, but he wasn't able to convert those performances for the Pakistan team. His bad ball percentage was still quite high.
What do you reckon about this game?
Now, I went back and I watched his spell ball with ball. I watched the match live, but also I rewatched his spell. I think his bad ball percentage is still there. He's still bowling a lot of bad balls, some short stuff, some short
right
stuff.
On a bad ball.
Again, not really because of the quality of the delivery, but more because of the poor quality of batters, I think. No offense.
I think still contained, like, he only gave 26 runs.
I think some of his deliveries were too full, but there were also a good chunk of deliveries that he bowled in the right areas. There were some quicker, flatter ones. There were some googlies. And I think there's an improvement. From what I saw him against New Zealand, there is an improvement in his line and in his length. But I think there is still a lot of room for further improvement and enhancement.
Yeah, I think there's time for that. If you're gearing up for the 2026 T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka, then you have maybe 15, 20 games before that happens. And you also have the PSL. So I think we'll see a more refined Shadab Khan. He's only going to get better from here. And I'm here for that.
The other part is that Pakistan, with this current playing 11 and squad, have so many bowling options. Pakistan used 7 bowlers today, and that doesn't include Saim Ayub. Saim Ayub can bowl 4 overs any day. Right? So the good part about this is that, let's say if Shadab Khan bowls 2 overs in a match, right? And he's gone for 22 runs. You don't need Shadab to finish his spell because you can get Saim Ayub to come in, bowl 2 overs. You can get Khush Shah to come in, bowl an over. Salman Al can come in if there's a lefty batting and he can bowl a few overs. So Pakistan's squad flexibility, their squad depth, their bowling options, the batting depth is incredible. I think this is the way forward. Shadab Khan, if he even bats in the top 6 and if he's scoring 25, 30 runs a match at a good strike rate, ideally he bowls 4 overs, takes a couple of wickets, bowls dot balls in the middle overs. But even if he doesn't in the ball, Pakistan has a good cushion around him to support his bowling.
Yeah, and today Abrar and Haris did not click. They went for 70 together. Like, if you add them together, they almost went for 70, 75 in their 7 overs. So that's not always going to happen. You're going to have Haris Rove, who's a killer T20 bowler, to perform. Abrar has also been great in the past 12 months. Needs to have one of those games as well, where he comes in and just blows the opposition out of the water. Man, it's just like I said in the top, and I think we're at the end and wrapping up, and we haven't even talked about Canada's home of cricket yet, Bashar, which is also its own little device. We'll end on that. This team is so balanced on both ends, on all 3 ends, on the fielding, on the batting, on the bowling. It's so balanced that when I saw the playing 11, I got emotional. I genuinely got emotional. And there's a lot of hyperbole in all we've been talking about. Are we actually back? I don't know, man. It's only been 1 game. It's Bangladesh. It's a home side. There's a lot going on. But I know that we have righted the ship. It just needed to be righted 2 degrees, which are 2 degrees to the left. And now we are at the track. When you track this direction, in 12 months' time, like you said, you will have that delta between where you were headed and where you end up is so big. I'm just glad we've made that turn and we're heading to the right direction. And it will take time. We are jumping the gun. It is a sweet victory. I love it. Pakistan winning is just sweet in itself. But it's just a long time coming. And I just hope this consistency remains. And I'm happy that this is the way forward.
I'm going to end with a quote from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he says, "The impact created by changing your habits is similar to the effect of shifting the route of an airplane by just a few degrees." Basically what you said earlier, where even if you just change by a couple of degrees here, and if you stay on that path long enough, by the end of your journey, you'll see you're at a completely different place than you were originally intended to. So with Pakistan picking the squad, with Pakistan having this mindset, I heard Salman Agha said that they want to be playing fearless cricket, but also not careless cricket.
Man, bars. These guys are dropping bars. The Mike Hesson one, now my boy Agha here, fearless. Genius. What can I say?
And so I think for the first time in a long time, I'm hopeful as a Pakistan fan.
And that's dangerous.
And we've been...
Hope is a dangerous thing. Continuing the Shawshank Redemption theme here, hope is a dangerous thing, Red.
So we've been tagged recently to being a lot negative and just not giving hope to the Pakistani fan base.
Bro, what are we going to do when they suck? You know, like if we don't agree with the choices being made, they don't agree with the management, if we don't agree with who's playing, like how can we stay? Like we're not here to sell copium, right? You know, like we're trying to tell it how it is, and we can't do that if we don't believe in it.
And so for the first time in a long time, I genuinely feel hopeful on this Pakistan squad. I genuinely feel like Pakistan has a chance of winning a trophy in the next
24
to 36 months.
Yes, sir. Amen. I mean to that. Let's finish off with a message from our good friends at Yashi Sports. We have not mentioned them this entire podcast. Canada's home of cricket, BP10. You know their spiel. Take us home.
Whether I say Yashi Sports or whether I say Canada's home of cricket, they equate the same thing. And if you're North America, Yashi Sports should be your only and go-to spot of getting cricket equipment, because they have a large variety of equipment, whether you're a beginner starting off, whether you're a pro player. Yashi Sports has everything you need. You can go to yashisports.com and check out their new website that is linked with the Shopify account. And you can use the code BP10 for an exclusive VIP 10% off your next purchase.
Thank you very much, Yashi Sports, for sponsoring this podcast and many others like it before. Thank you for Sendwave as well.
Do we have comments from Patreon?
We did have comments, but we've touched upon all of them.
Okay.
We've touched upon all of them. So I did not take them. But the Patreon has been...
The general consensus was of disbelief.
Disbelief. Wonderment.
How is this Pakistan's team where we have batting depth, where we have multiple bowling options,
yes,
where we go hard in the power play, where we're scoring 200 and defending it? How is this all happening?
There is a comment that... such a good comment. I think it was Hassan Ali said, borrowing from Quick Info, the frequency of reboots is stretching the meaning of the word era to its breaking point. You know, because I was like, a new squad, new era. Like we have had 3 different new eras in the past 24 months. This, I believe, though, Zan, keeping up with the copium aspect of it all and just trying to make sure that we keep the hope of it all high. This is going to be different. I feel it in my bones. Ready to sign off, Fajar? Thank you guys for tuning in. This was a longer one. We appreciate you sticking with us through the end. Do like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Bashar, we haven't had an emoji of the day in a very long time. Do you have anything for us?
I think today's, let's do a quote of the day. There's been a lot of quotes
quote of the day.
That we've mentioned from Mike Hesson, from Salman Agha, Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank, yeah.
If you have a quote of the day, maybe you live by this, maybe this series and this change in management has given you a thought of what the quote of the day could be, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, drop your quotes in the comments, your top quotes, and we'll heart all of the ones that we like. All right, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Cheers.